Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. It is I, the voice of reason, in this chaotic world of tabletop role-playing game. It is the OGGM. It is 8:30. It is the 7th day of March 2022. It is 48 degrees and sunny here in Ventura, California, but there is a cold wind blowing through. But, since other people are getting hit by tornadoes or whatever, I guess we really can't complain. But I will, because I'm thin-blooded and hate the cold. Anyways, it's Monday, I believe, and we're still here, which means it's time to take a look at what's going on in the tabletop role-playing game news. And we've got a whole bundle of... see what I did there? Bundle of bits and bobs news going on since last we spoke. So it was GM's Day on, Friday, Thursday? It's the honoring the death of our founding father, Gary Gygax. There was a whole bunch of sales on several websites for both physical product and digital product. Those sales, of course, have been extended. So if you still want to get a chance to pick up some of the stuff that was marked down, go to Drive-Thru RPG or DM's Guild or any other online retailer that you like Lunu or Itch.io or whatever, and see if they're still running the the GM's Day sales. Yeah. Let's see. EN Live launches today. So this will be looks like a Twitch channel doing EN publishing official stuff. So mostly we'll be doing probably about Awful Cheerful Engine live plays and talks, and Level Up live plays and talks, and the other products that EN World has supported. Let's see. So yeah, that's, I guess, a lot of talk about that. What else is going on in the world? We have an early look at the Avatar Legends role-playing game, the #1 tabletop role-playing game Kickstarter. Powered by the Apocalypse. So yes, we are very interested to see how well the Avatar Legends tabletop role-playing game does. It was, of course, one of the highest Kickstarters for a tabletop role-playing game ever, at almost 10 million, and it's using Powered by the Apocalypse. So if it sells well, it could just be the thing Powered by the Apocalypse needs to make it a reasonable threat to the chokehold 5e has on our hobby. Blah, 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 blah. EM Publishing's Level Up Advanced 5e is now available on Fantasy Grounds. This includes the Level Up Adventures Guide, the core rulebook, and some bits and bobs you need if you wanted to run Level Up using Fantasy Grounds. You can download the edition for $30 from the Steam store. And you get an introductory adventure. We have the quarterly report for the end of 2021 for things like who was doing well percentage-wise in the amount of product purchased and played. So this is the end of January, beginning of 2022 quarter Q4 numbers. I'm sure people are going to argue with me at always. It should come as no surprise that at #1, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is the #1 played game / being purchased online at 55%. 55% of all tabletop role-playing games being played online is 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, which means about 50% of all online product that was purchased through virtual tabletops. Remember, this only covers virtual tabletops, not anything else, and specifically Roll20 virtual tabletop. So in regards to physical product, this is just quarterly for digital product. In regards to digital product that was purchased to use on virtual tabletops, specifically Roll20, but general all virtual tabletops. So this doesn't count normal stuff, just in regards to. So 55% of all games played on virtual tabletops at the end of 2021. D&D 5e, no surprise there. What is surprise is the number, 55%. That was a lot higher in Q1 and Q2. It is a huge drop considering the number last year was in the high 80s of percentage of games were being played on tabletop role-playing games. The number has dropped to 55. That's a huge drop. Sorry. for all of you who are like holding on to the dream that D&D will stay the top forever, and well, it's dropping. And not surprisingly, Call of Cthulhu comes in at number 2 at 10%. Pathfinder First Edition comes in at 4%. Pathfinder Second Edition comes in at 2%. Warhammer and all the other things related to Warhammer comes in at 1%. World of Darkness comes in at 1%. Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 comes in at 0.8%. The Mysterious Tormenta coming in at almost 1%. I really need to find out what this Tormenta is, considering how well it always is doing on the virtual tabletop. Starfinder at 0.56%. And every other game being played equals to about 11.9%. So that includes Call of Cthulhu. So it's 55% for D&D and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So about 20% every other game, including Call of Cthulhu. 55% D&D, 20% every other game. Of that, 10% is Call of Cthulhu. Not bad, Call of Cthulhu. Holding on to that second place point still. So that means Call of Cthulhu is still the number 2 played game in the entire world. Suck it, 5e. Moving on. Critical Role is approaching its 7th anniversary, and to celebrate, they're having another theatrical event. You can go to theaters in the U.S. and Brazil, or you can watch it on Twitch TV Critical Role, or you can watch it on YouTube.com Critical Role. Info is for criticalrole.com 7. Weird. They're only on 4 campaigns, but 7 years. So somewhere in there, there's about 3 years of stuff missing. 7th anniversary, but only campaign number 3, right? This is campaign number 3, right? Campaign number 1, Vox Machina, campaign number 2, Mighty Nine, campaign number 3, the current one. So 3 years. Each campaign, each campaign took longer than a year, though. So, yeah. And there was stuff that happened at the beginning before they became what they are now. So it could be 7 years. Has it been? It feels like 5, but I think, 7. I guess it was 7 years ago that I was assaulted. So, yeah. So if you want to go see Critical Role at a theater, it's going to cost you about $30, or you could watch it for free on YouTube. Just saying. Modifius announced the pre-orders for the introductory box set for Dune Adventures in the Imperium, titled Agents of Doom Box Set. This box set will include a 116-page adventure, 5 character folios from members of the house, 2 50-card decks with NPCs, assets, and traits to use during the game, a spice harvesting system to track success of running spice things, 5 custom D20s with the symbols of the great sandworms, plus handouts, map, tokens, and trackers. The box also comes with a code for free digital copy of Dune Adventures in the Imperium core rulebook. So this is an introductory box with a 116-page adventure, but no actual how do I make a character introductory. So I guess the Agents of Dune adventure includes the information on how to make characters, and I guess comes with some pre-generated characters. So it's basically you get to run this and pre-generated characters in this pre-generated adventure to teach you sort of how to play. But then if you really want to learn the whole thing, you got to get the digital or just, buy the actual game. Don't know about this one. And speaking of Modifius or Mephidius has also released Upsetting the Balance, a new adventure for Star Trek Adventures. This adventure takes place in the Next Generation era and places the players in the role of a crew of a Klingon ship. Yes. Mephidius has also been giving us secret behind the scenes for what they have coming up for Star Trek Adventures, what they have coming up for the Klingon Uprising adventures they're going to be setting in the Star Trek universe, and some of the original stuff that they're going to be making for Star Trek. WizKid has announced the latest entry in the "Why I don't have this kind of amount of money, why do I need this thing?" This is a Blue Dragon trophy. So, like how when hunters kill a bear, which, we now think is sort of eek, they've made a thing that you can hang on your wall. This thing is about made of polyform latex and hand-painted, weighing between about 16 pounds. But there's no measurement of the actual bust, the actual decapitated head. But the box is 33 inches by 20 inches by 25 inches. 33, so 12, 24, 12 inches in a foot. 24 inches is 2 feet. About 3 feet by 3 feet by, oh, Jesus Christ. So this is a 3 foot by 3 foot head. 3 foot decapitated head of a blue dragon that you could hang on your wall, costing you $500. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for a public service announcement. As much as I want to support your hobby, and if this is something you really, 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 really feel you need, you should get it. But really, if you're in the financial position at this point in time in the world to waste $500 on something as stupid as this, why don't you instead take that $500 and donate it to a charity? All right, back off of my soapbox. Or, I don't know, save it for rent and food. Okay, so we have several RPG companies that are jumping on the political thing. Several RPG publishers and indie developers have launched charity efforts in the wake of the news coming from around the world. Modifius has posted that all proceeds from the PDF sales will be donated to frontline humanitarian, you know what I mean, Jesus Christ. Aid efforts in the Ukraine. Monty Cook Games posted a similar social pledge page that all proceeds from their store will go to international rescue. Dark Tower and Munchkin artist John Kovlik is selling a print titled Ukraine, A Very Hard Stare. All the proceeds going to the World Central Kitchen. Chaosium released an adventure called Does Love Forgive? A Call of Cthulhu Pay What You Want adventure. All proceeds from that will be going to the Ukraine. Black Monk Games has a game coming out and are auctioning off stuff. All the proceeds will go to Polish humanitarian groups. And Itch.io has released a tabletop role-playing game bundle to support transgender education network around the world. This is featuring 493 digital tabletop role-playing games product worth over $3,000 for just $5. This one I did support. So that was a good one. Humble Bumble time! All right, Humble Bumble has partnered with Goodman Games to offer a 5th edition fantasy bundle. At $1, you receive the first 2 adventures under the 5th edition fantasy series, Fae Sister's Fate and Glitter Doom, plus a voucher for 20% off Goodman Games store. At the 10% level, you get the 5th edition fantasy magazine, issues 3 through 10. And at the top tier of $18, you get 5th edition fantasy magazine, issues 11 through 18. Plus a book of character inspirations, the Monster Design Elements book, and the GM book, full of system-neutral advice for running a game. So a whole bunch of stuff for 5th edition fantasy from Goodman Games. This is not an actual game. These are supplements for 5e, just to make you think. So obviously okay, so that's your news. We got EN Live is going live. You can get digital stuff for EN's various games to play on virtual tabletop. Speaking of virtual tabletop, we have the Q4 industry report, D&D at number 1, Call of Cthulhu at number 2 for games being played on the virtual tabletop around the world. March 17th is the 7th anniversary of Critical Role, so if you want to go to a theater and see them do a Critical Role thing on the big screen, sure, or you could just wait to watch it for free on YouTube. Dune box set intro with an intro adventure, but no introduction to, I don't know, that one, Star Trek adventure, cool. Giant decapitated head of a blue dragon that you want to waste $500 for? God, no. Spend the $500 on something you need, like food and rent. Supporting the various charities that are dealing with the crisis around the world? Yes, definitely. Supporting transgender education? Yes. 5th edition fantasy bundle from Humble Bundle that supports global food. If you want to get some extra stuff for 5e, sure, why not? But remember, this is all optional 5e stuff, so before you use any of these products in a 5e game, make sure it's okay. And now from Bundle of Holding, We have the Fiasco 2020 set is still going on. We have the Starter Collection, which features Fiasco 2020 and 4 game set in the world of Fiasco. For the bonus collection, we have 4 more Fiascos and 4 more Bully Pulpit Patron games, including Cowboys with Big Hearts. If you're interested in exploring the world of Torg, which is a tabletop role-playing game that came out about the same time as Rifts, sort of does the same thing as Rifts, imagines a future where, our world has been invaded by multiple things. Torg was more about what if our world was invaded by all the fantastical or religions of the past, like, what if Ragnarok happened? What if the Greek gods return? What if the Egyptian gods return? So it got a lot like Rifts, but a lot sort of different. If I remember correctly, one of the things in Torgs was Odin, or maybe it was Zeus, had come back to Earth early, but he was going around the Earth basically as Elvis, and as a rock star, and not fulfilling any of his jobs or something like that. I vaguely remember that one of the big gods had come back and was basically a rock star. But I don't remember if it was Odin or Zeus. Anyways, the starter collection is $25. You get the source book for the Nile, the Living Lands, the Nile Empire, Revenge of the Caradon, and you also get, for the bonus collection, you get some 5, 10, 15 more supplements. That is the Torg Eternity Cosmos. If you want the Torg Eternity Essentials, which for $10, you get the core rulebook, GM screen, you get a starting adventure, character journals, and a second adventure. So you get that one to learn everything about the Torg universe, and then you get the other one if you want to add to the Torg universe. The Worlds of 2000 AD bundle is coming to an end, so if you've ever wanted to get the Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper, or other stuff that came out from Worlds of 2000 AD, if you're a fan of Judge Dredd, they keep claiming this is the last chance to get these, but of course this last chance to get these has been going on for a few months now. It's kind of like that going out of business sale that never actually ends. So for $8, you can get all the rule books for Judge Dredd's, Rogue Trooper, and all the other Worlds of 2000 AD role-playing games, and then you can upgrade to the Adventure Collection, which gets you more adventures for Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper, and all the other adventures that were written for that setting. If you don't know, Judge Dredd was a big comic book, Brit in England and British in the UK a long time ago. Sort of has a cult following around the world. They did 2 movies. The one with Sylvester Stallone, I Am the Law, and the other one with the guy who played Thanos. And for tabletop historical fantasy role-playing, we have Elephant and Macaw. You can get the entire collection of every product made for Elephant and Macaw for $15. This contains the rule book, 3 and 4 adventures for Elephant and Macaw. Somebody told me that they had heard about it, and it was sort of pretty good. It was basically 16th century fantasy Brazil with Witcher-style monster hunting. So that is all the news. If any of these sound at all interesting to you, let me know. We can go into them deeper. We will explore, of course, more mega dungeons this week and more superpowered stuff this week, and whatever other controversy is going on in the world of role-playing games as the politics of the world continue to march on and the various shenanigans of the internet continue to march on. I will remain, as always, the man who tries to guide you through this nonsense, the OGGM. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs by August 4th. I've been told I need to go viral, but I mean, you can't force going viral. It just sort of has to happen. Anyways, get off of my land, you damn kids with your damn chimera and your damn alternate rules. See ya.